I'd hear him in there praying. And I would purposely, this is how mean I was, I would kick the door. My parents came to Christ when I was 2. They had a reputation in our town for abandoning my 3 older sisters and spending the night in the beer joint and all of that, you know, and they made a radical change in their life. And one of the things that really, you know, one of my earliest memories is I knew we were probably the poorest family in our community, outside of the migrant workers that came up annually to work in the potato fields. And yet I saw a generosity. You know, my dad was a mechanic at the potato farm, and he made about $400 a month. And I can see this clearly. He wrote the first check to Temple Baptist Church for 10% of what he'd made. And that bothered me, because I thought we could have used that. When I was in junior high, I would hear him, his room was across from mine. Before I'd go downstairs to do my paper route, I'd hear him in there praying. And I would purposely, this is how mean I was, I would kick the door and a lot of times just use curse words. And when we would have, after our meal time, we'd have family devotions and he'd pray. And I used to mock him because he prayed for all my relatives, my aunts, my uncles, my, you know, this, you know, all the way. And none of them were believers. And then years later, when I was speaking in churches, here'd be those people he prayed for, one by one. So their example, their legacy, not only influenced myself and my siblings, and now through the generations, nephews and nieces and so forth, but cousins and aunts and uncles came to Christ in those last years. And I know it's because of his faithful prayer. And almost every morning I pray through a list of my family, just like he did. And I truly believe the reason we're here today is because of the prayers of my parents. And they were faithful in that. I often think they didn't have a lot to give, but boy, the legacy they left us was priceless, because it's love God, be generous, and care for the poor. And that's what we're trying to do.